So guys, we actually played Gears of War at E3.
Gears 5.
Gears 5 2019 E3, right? We were playing with some developers at the time. It was like a live stream. We were both sitting there going, oh, I don't like this particular game style that we're playing. We thought it was going to be Gears of War. We've just finished Gears 5, and I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. Let's get to the drop, people, and tell you why this is actually a damn good game.
So let's be clear about what we can talk about, because basically we're in the review cycle right now, and what they do with the reviews is they're like, hey, for the multiplayer stuff, we do some multiplayer game modes at these specific times.
Yep.
The problem is that those times don't work for us in Australia, so we never actually really got to test the multiplayer side of the game.
Yep.
That's the PvP, that's Horde mode, and that's the new Escape mode. Now I know a lot of people are going to be interested to buy the game for those things, but the honest truth is we cannot render a verdict on them yet.
Sure. And the microtransactions either. Like they're not actually accessible yet.
Correct.
In terms of what the prices are, what the currency looks like, all that kind of stuff. So all we've really got a chance to do is do a bit of co-op and finish the campaign.
Yes, exactly right. But I will say on the basis of that alone, this is a pretty fucking good game.
I'm actually really
impressed.
surprised.
I'm super impressed by what I played. I think at the very sort of top line level, Gears has felt a bit sort of like, Gears of War, like,
it went down the Halo path for me. Like, it was like, okay, they're just making more, and I love number 1, number 2, and I just kind of fell off the bandwagon. I didn't jump on for the other ones. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of hardcore Gears fans.
There are a lot of hardcore Gears
fans. For me personally, I just wasn't that interested to follow the franchise.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like a lot of people checked out with number 3. Number 4 took a very big narrative turn where like Marcus steps back, and then it's like his son and his friends and whatever else. Very different tonally as well. And let's be clear about this. Gears of War 5 is very much Gears of War 4 2. Like, it's the same crew, they're in the same story arcs, the same sort of narrative, like, flavor to it. So if you didn't like that part of Gears 4, you're not going to enjoy Gears 5 either. Like, it's very much the same thing. I personally quite liked it. Like, I actually like these characters. I like the stories they're going through. I liked it.
Yeah, when I jumped on this initially at E3, I wasn't that excited for it, you know, and then I jumped on it again, and I was just blown away by the story. It grabs you so quickly. Like, the first 10 minutes, I'm already invested in the story. It just, the actual cinematic moments feel so right. You are so invested in these characters. The whole campaign, you are really wanting to get to that next cutscene. It's almost like you don't even want to really play the game. You just really want to get to that next cutscene. You know
I wouldn't agree with that personally.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, when a story is so good, yes, the mechanics felt fantastic, but you know, it's a real gem, I think, when a game's like, the story is so fantastic, you really want to get to that next moment.
The thing is, I wouldn't say the story is that fantastic personally. I would say the characters and their performances and the interactions between them are really good.
Sure.
And I think the action set pieces are spectacular. Like, they're fucking crazy. But the story itself, I was like, I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was like, it's not like God of War. Do you know what I mean? God of War's story is like, or like Nier Automata or Witcher or whatever. It's not that level of story, but it's a really good action-y, like Transformers, Michael Bay style story.
I'm talking more about you're looking forward to the next interaction with those characters.
I think
how
so.
That story kind of moves their interactions along. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I definitely agree with that. And I will say that that is propped up by some of the best facial animations I've seen
hands down
in a video game. And some incredible performances. Like, the voice acting in this game is so fucking on point.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm really like, wow, well done, voice actor.
Yeah.
Like, you have nailed that. You know, it really does feel so organic, so real. And also, like, there's so many different characters that play different roles. Like, you know, there's the main lead, like Kate, and then there's also like JD, and they kind of share the limelight. There's that Fars guy who's the Englishman, who's like a complete dick. There's Dell, who's like the sort of lovable sidekick and whatever else. Then there's Marcus, who's like, you know, I'm a video game character. You know?
So it's interesting you say that, because actually, like Marcus, I think we were saying this off camera. Marcus is definitely that kind of person that represents the early 2000s of a type of video game character.
The last action hero.
Yeah, these other characters really, you can feel the evolution of storytelling within video games. Now, Marcus has stayed true to himself, but it's really good to see those moments between Marcus and his son. Like, there's some really touching moments.
Yeah.
It really feels like a blockbuster movie.
It does.
It has been so well executed, and you are, again, like, you're so drawn into those moments. You are looking forward to that next cutscene. You can see them interact more.
For sure.
You know?
So in terms of like playing the actual game,
we should get to that.
It's all about the gameplay. Look, okay, so it's Gears, and in particular, if you played Gears 4, you're going to be very familiar with a lot of this because it feels very similar. But at the same time, like meaningful new additions. In particular, there's this Jack dude who's a little drone that you can control during combat. He has a whole suite of abilities. For example, he can make you invisible so you can like run up and try and flank enemies. He can bring up a shield in front of you so that you're like just basically able to fire away without anything. You could do the mind control one. Did you do that one?
I did many times.
That's super strong.
Against that thing with the huge machine gun thing. It was definitely a very welcomed addition because, you know, Gears, a lot of people have played Gears, but to jump in and have a new addition to something that can completely change the battlefield of how you actually interact with it, it was very good.
For sure.
But, I mean, I loved the weapon mechanics. They felt so good.
Very
you know,
good.
the chainsaw felt fantastic. I didn't use it as much as I thought I was going to, actually.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look at when I played a lot of it, at the end of the campaign, it did get a slightly tiresome for me. It was constant wave additions in every environment, and I understand that that's what they got to do in, you know, a first person or a third person campaign. But by the end of it, I was getting a little bit tired of that kind of shooting waves after waves. It just got a bit boring for me at the end of it.
I disagree with you on that.
Really?
I feel actually they really managed that by the end.
I
feel like they had the right environments, the right action spectacle, the right sort of mix of enemies.
Sure.
I actually was not getting bored of this. But then again, I signed up for a Gears game, so I'm like, well, this is what this is. So,
Sure. I guess for me, there was so much of it. I understand it's a Gears game. By the end of the campaign, you've just done so much of it. I was getting a little bit tired of it, personally.
Sure. I would say that overall, gameplay-wise, expect something familiar from Gears 4, but still really excellent. And I think that if you liked what you saw there, you're going to love this as well.
There's some new additions also with the whole open world and the skiff.
That's quite an interesting point.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about that, Sam?
Okay, you jump on this thing that's like a hang glider. Everyone, there's like, you're on the back like SSX Tricky on this kind of snowboard thing, and it shows you multiple different worlds that they put this skiff in, right? Now, I think it's the first time that Gears have done an open world, right?
It is the first time. And it's semi-open world.
It's semi-open world. That's where I was going to go with that. Now, look, it really feels like you're going from one spot to another, and it gives you, you know, this time between to just have a bit of fun on a skiff.
Yeah.
The actual world itself does not feel very fleshed out. I like that they've tried to do this with the open world. I think it's you know, it's great to have that ambition. But, you know, with this open world, you are going around and there's not a lot to look at, and it feels like just a bit of a long load time by the time that the skiff, you know, novelty has worn off.
So, okay, I definitely agree with
You know what I mean?
a lot of what you said there. Yeah, for sure. I feel like, so just to be clear about this, Gears games before this were very much like, okay, here's the mission, and it's a tunnel level linear thing, and you go through it, and then you kick down the door, and you go in, and that's it, and then on to the next mission, okay? This Gears is like, cool. In each act, there is this overworld map, okay? And then you set out from a starting point to go to a specific location, and you'll complete what is essentially a mission at that location, and then you can choose to go somewhere else on the skiff. And you might want to go to the next mission location, or you might want to go to where there's like a question mark on the map, and you can explore. And when you get there, there's a little side quest kind of event where you'll find some NPC and be like, help me man, I'm in trouble, and you deal with some waves of enemies, and then you get some stuff, right? So that's it, that's what it is structurally. Definitely agree with you. There's not much going on in the world map between those locations. It's very much like if anyone played Metro Exodus, which is kind of like you've got an open world space. There's not much that's going on within that open world space. It's really just a way to connect different spaces together and create the feeling of an open world rather than being truly like a dynamic open world.
And I really think that the skiff mechanics save that. They feel so fantastic. There's moments where you're able to like jump off a cliff and have a bit of air time and whatnot. Like it feels very, very good. So without those like brilliant skiff mechanics, it's almost like that. For me, I was playing this and I was like, did they just feel like they made such brilliant skiff mechanics that they wanted you to return to the skiff and constantly use it.
No,
like,
I don't think so.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, they just... The point I'm trying to make is it felt so fantastic that was the saving grace of an environment that did feel quite empty between both areas. I would have been perfectly fine if it was more like a leveling, like a, you know, level 1, level 2 system, and they might have... And the game wouldn't have changed much if they took that, you know, open world aspect out.
I disagree with that. I really feel as though there's a lot... This has a lot of impact on the game in terms of its pacing, because before this, Gears was very much like this mission, then this mission, then this mission, this mission.
Yep.
This gives it a lot of chance to breathe, and it's like you decide where you want to go, you decide when you want to go there, you decide when to engage, and I feel like that has a fundamental impact on how it feels to play Gears of War. Like, it really does feel quite a different game, I think, when you accept that open world and
it does give you a moment to chill.
It gives you a moment to chill, and Gears of War does not give you moments to chill, or at least it has in the past. Now it kind of does. I think it really works, but it's not transformative. It's not like this is a completely different game. It's just kind of like, I definitely think it's an evolution of the franchise, but a subtle one. I definitely think it's subtle.
Yeah, sure. Look, I mean, but all in all, I don't think that the open world was a bad addition. No. I just feel like it's something that they can improve on, because a lot of people will probably play this and go, oh, awesome, open world aspect. They'll play a bit of it and go, oh, there's not much here to this.
For sure.
You know?
Totally agree.
But look, I mean, apart from that, the graphics actually look incredible.
Amazing, yeah. And I will say, I played this both on the PC and the Xbox. Now, I had lots of issues running on PC, but I was running pre-patch builds, like pre-live builds. So I don't know how it's going to go when it goes live. I will tell you though, I had a lot of problems on my computer.
I didn't. See, I played it on the PC. I played with a 1080 Ti. You played it with a 20 something, right?
RTX.
So, yeah. RTX, yes. So look, they probably were like expecting most people to have the, you know, the 1080s or kind of the, you know, those style of graphics cards, and maybe the 20s aren't as optimized. I didn't have a lot of issues. A few of the cutscenes, I had a couple of issues, but all in all, it actually ran really smoothly for me.
It has an excellent suite of PC options. It does run in ultra wide. You have field of view adjustment, huge number of graphical choices. It's fantastic as a PC port. It really, you can tell they put a lot of effort into making it a great port. I would say though, if you are getting it on PC, just check forums to see if anyone's having issues with your specific graphics card, because I certainly experienced issues with the RTX 2080 Ti. Very big issues. Could have just been because it was pre, you know, day one patch, but it could also carry over to the live game. I would just say watch that space.
Yeah, but apart from that, the actual graphics themselves, like, it was an absolutely gorgeous game.
It really
We've already
is.
spoken about the mocap, and of course that goes hand in hand in terms of just like the face, like the environments. It just looked so real in some moments. You know, the environments would be crumbling around you. The coding and the time and effort they've put into each environment to make it look real, make it look fragile. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You know, it's so intricate in the way that you've got to navigate through these sometimes giant chambers and sometimes quite intimate moments in this little cave. Like, it feels like every 10, 20 minutes they're giving you a new environment to explore. And how the enemies attack, it just feels like it's been done so brilliantly. This environment, the graphics for me, I don't think I've ever seen better graphics. Like, I was like blown away by these.
Definitely,
personally.
sometimes you're overwhelmed by how good it looks. For
like,
sure.
honestly.
And I played it on Xbox and PC. Even on Xbox, it looks stunning. Like, I just was so blown away by it. They've just done an incredible job with the technical side of this game. As I said, watch the PC port, check out, make sure there's no issues on day one. But Xbox you can buy with confidence and know there's no issues, and it's going to look fantastic. I will say as well, like, I think we have to talk about this, how consumer friendly I think this product is. Now, the microtransactions we can't comment on yet because it's not there, but either way, they are specific to the multiplayer mode. They have no impact on single player. I don't know. We can't talk about them yet. But
hopefully they don't suck.
We can say that this game is available on Xbox and PC from day one,
and Steam,
and Steam as well.
Not just the
if you want to
Microsoft
buy
shop.
it there, that's exactly right. You can do Play Anywhere, which means you can play part of it on your PC and then switch over to Xbox. You can do co-op with your friends throughout the entire campaign. You can do 3-player split-screen co-op, both on consoles and on PC as well, which is basically unheard of. No one does split screen on PC.
Yeah. It's customizable for disability controls and all this kind of stuff.
The adaptive controller. There's a map creator on the multiplayer side as well, so people will be able to create their own maps. You can get all of this for $10 on the Xbox Game Pass. I'm not even joking. Go and get the Xbox Game Pass for $10. Play the game for however long you want to play it, and then cancel your subscription. You get everything we just talked about for $10. Like, I swear to God, that's crazy. Like, just the amount of value in this product, how well it's been built as a consumer product is really fantastic.
Look, I mean, with the microtransactions, again, we don't know what they are, but from what I've seen from this, I really look at this and go, this is a fantastic product.
Yes.
It's worth playing.
100%.
I was, again, skeptical as hell about Gears when I jumped on and finished it. I was like, okay, this is exactly what Xbox needed. They needed a good, solid game, fantastic campaign that I think will review really well and put them back into good faith with a lot of consumers. And I hope that they continue doing great games like this. For sure. Because we've reviewed several games in the last, 6, 12 months with Xbox, and we haven't had great things to say.
Sea of memes.
Yeah, like just bad games.
Crackdown, you know what I mean? Forza's obviously very good, but realistically though, I mean, that's obviously racing games aren't for everyone. I feel like Gears of War, this is how I was going to summarize it on the Shill Up review.
Oh, yes.
They don't make games like this anymore, right? In the sense that back in the day, this used to be the default game. The shooty, actiony game with the action hero. They don't make that anymore now. Sony has moved away from that completely with their like cinematic action game, over the shoulder, emotionally wrought, much more, or not much more a movie than a game, but part cinematic movie, part video game, but it's got a real flavor to it, right? This is just a straight up and down action game. It's like playing Starship Troopers or Aliens 2, the video game, and it's so unapologetically that, and it's fucking cool because it's like, that's what we want to play. Like with Gears, there's not many games like this these days that are just this thing, and it feels really good to play something like that because I've forgotten what it's like to play a game like this.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I think the emotional aspect is still fantastic and it's much needed, but
it's not like it is with a Sony game, though.
Yeah, but it does feel like you are jumping on a game from the early 2000s in a lot of respects.
But in a good way.
In all the best ways.
Yeah.
In all the best ways.
Yeah.
Like it's paying homage to some of just the basic ideas that were put forward in the early 2000s, like we saw in Halo 2. This does feel reminiscent of Halo 2 in terms of quality, campaign, the impact it's trying to have emotionally. It just feels like it's a well put together game, and I'm just glad that we're finally seeing games from Xbox that hopefully can start competing with the large, good quality library of PlayStation games at the moment.
Ooh, we just triggered all the Xbox fans there.
It's true, though. It's really true.
No, I mean, look, as I said, we've always said that we want Xbox to come back in the fight because it's better when there's competition. And I feel like Gears of War 5 is an honest to goodness, great exclusive. And if you've got an Xbox, you're going to be really happy with it. And if you've got a PC, you should check it out. It's like $10, dude. That's it. Anyway, that's the review.
It, guys.
There's going to be a Shill Up review as well. You can go and click on that.
Don't check on that shit, okay?
It's the same shit, but it's longer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, well, that's a joke there, I'm sure. But anyway, I love and appreciate you guys, and we'll be back probably tomorrow with some more news. Dong out.
Whopping big dong out.